Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Here we are. Another week has gone by and we're just about approaching the weekend and we're all set and ready to go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Coffee Hour. This is a show we get together each week and we bring you great entertainment and have great conversation together. It's a family show, so everyone is invited. We thank you so much for being along with us. We're going to be here right throughout the hour, and in this hour, we're going to have you get involved in conversation. We're going to do that and make sure wherever you are, wherever you may be, you could be around the breakfast table, you could be someplace at work, at your desk, or maybe it's your coffee break. Take that coffee break and stay with us, all right? Because, you know, if you stay there, you can watch the show, drink your coffee at the same time, and whatever is allotted to you, 15 or 20 minutes to that coffee hour, you can stay there and watch the show at the same time. And when it's all over, you're right at your desk. All you have to do is just dive in and multitask, work and watch the show at the same time. And of course, we've got a lot of things planned for you. If you're just joining us, for all of you people who've been with us for a while, thank you so much for being along with us. And we are so grateful. For those of you who may be new, well, we start this show. Look at your clock. All right, because you may be in a different time zone. We're Eastern, so it's 10 o'clock where we are, but it could be some other time where you are. That's what time we come on in your area each week. And with that being said, you can join us and participate in conversation. If you have your computer, your cell phone, or any kind of device that's nearby that you could watch us and has a keyboard to it, use that keyboard and type, because that's how you conversate with us. You type, I'll see you right there on the big screen. And of course, we will answer all of your questions and ideas. And if you have opinions, that's great too, because that's what the show is all about. It's great ideas of opinions and ideas. And of course, we welcome them all. And if there's anything in particular that you like to say, specifically any topic, it's welcome here. Just type it in and let us know what you want to talk about. Just get the conversation going. And then once you get things going, we can share the conversation with everybody else. Okay, so that's how it goes. And if you're watching us on Facebook, particularly if you're watching us for the first time, we invite you to tag your friends. Tag this show to your friends right now. You can do that right now. As many as you like, as many as you will. And if you can't do them all, take a little bit at a time. You know, next week, add a few more to the list. If they like what they see, they like what they hear, of course, they'll be back again and again because they'll know that information is coming from you. So they'll trust you. They'll click onto that information that you had tagged them with, and it brings them directly to us, and they could watch everything that's going on here. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everybody else is in the room. And you can talk to other people while you're here as well. So that's what the good show is all about. It's like a family show. It's like a get-together. It's like a fraternity where we get together and have a little fun. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to click onto my YouTube channel. If you're there right now, we want you to subscribe to it. All you have to do is just take your mouse, drag it over where it says subscribe, point the arrow there, click it on, and it's right there. There's nothing involved in there, no financial means or anything. All you have to do is just click it on. That's the only effort that it takes, just that little effort. You can do it, and you don't have to do it. You can do it within a blink of an eye, and you won't miss anything. You can do it right now. So do it right now while you're there, and make sure that we know that you're out there, because that's the purpose of the whole thing, is making sure that we find out how many people are actually with us. That's good for us too. Also, it gives you the opportunity to know, now that you clicked on, that whenever we come on live or whenever we have some kind of activity on the website at all, it gives you an instant notification just to remind you. There are a lot of people are out there saying, okay, I'm going to watch the show next week. And then you're out there, but you forgot about it. But if you're online, we remind you. That instant pop-up will come up, and all you have to do is click onto it, and it brings you right here. So that's what it's all about. So do that right away and tell your friends about it too. Get everybody involved. And if you know some friends that are interested in watching this show, you know, tell them all about it. You know, Also, all of you guys who are watching us on Instagram, because we come on 3 different places. Got to mention that. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do much. The only thing that you have to do is just keep the word percolating right throughout the hour. And you can do that right throughout the hour. Plus, tell your friends at any time about where we are and what we do and get them involved in the show too. So we thank you all for being with us and thank you a bunch. Now, also, we have our normal shtick that we do, all right? We talk to you when we want you involved in the show and we don't want to keep you involved in the show, but we also have a thing that we do here. For instance, in just a few minutes from now, not too far away, we're going to hear from Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp is our sports guy. He comes along every week and brings you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. If you have any sports-related questions that you may want to ask him while he's here online, and by the way, you can see him if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you can actually see him right on screen. He'll be here right on screen, and you can ask him any questions that you have, and he'll get the answers for you. And if he doesn't have the answers at that particular point, he'll get them for you, and you'll know a little bit later on. Now, those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't get that same luxury of actually seeing Brian if you're watching us on Instagram. But you'll hear him. You could still hear him. As opposed to seeing him, you could still hear him. Everything that he says, you could still hear him, the sports report and everything. And you could still ask him questions yourself. If you have any questions, just type it in. Wherever you are, just type it in. And if he doesn't see it, I will see it and I will relay all of the questions to him. Now, speaking of all of that, when Brian comes in, he probably won't be able, he'll be on a device where he probably won't see anyone. So I'll have to relay to him who's out there, who's talking to him, who's asking the questions of him, and then we can do it that way. However, it's going to happen. Don't worry about it. But anyway, he's going to be here. Last night he was on the show, on our show Talk Back Live, which, by the way, I'll tell you more about that before we go off the air. He was on our show Talk Back Live last night, but he was coming out of the Bahamas. He takes that periodic cruise every now and then. He was coming to us from the Bahamas. And we were grateful for that. But I understand today he's going to be on his way home. And as a matter of fact, I believe he's en route right now in his car. So, or he's not doing the driving, no. He's going to be doing the show from his car, and he does that every now and again. But anyway, he's going to be here, and we're going to look forward to seeing him here. And we'll have all of the questions. Have your questions lined up for him if you have any, and we'll certainly pass it on to him. Now, we also have, at the end of the show, towards the end of the show, we've got these movies. Now, every week, I know the weekend is upon us, and I like to enhance your weekend or help that out in any way I can, and I do that through the movies. Now, what I do is I go to Turner Classic Movies and find movies that are classics and have my picks of the week. I pick out a few, and then I bring them to you because I know that maybe some of the things that you do over the weekend, you want to inject in that program of watching some old movies or catching up on some movies that you haven't seen before. You have a lot of resources, I got to tell you, in this day and age. You're streaming, you got cable, you got this and you got that. But what I want to do is I want to add on to your bucket list of what to watch too as well. So I have those movies coming up and they'll be here just before you know it. So we look forward to all of that and a whole lot of things. So now it's you and I against the world. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media or broadcast facility. So that out of the way, and that being said, let's do what we normally do. Let's raise our cups because, ladies and gentlemen, what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So, excuse me while I shoot up. I hope you have yours on hand. Doesn't have to be coffee. Maybe you have a glass of milk or something like that. Maybe you're not a coffee drinker. Maybe you're a tea drinker. Whatever beverage that you have, we hope that you enjoy it along with us. And for those, again, you who are watching at work, again, you have that coffee break coming along. Maybe you have it by now. Spend it at your desk keep the computer on, watch us, and later on when that coffee break is over, 15, 20 minutes allowed. Do they still do that anymore? And if they do, and you happen to be one of them that has the luxury of having a coffee break, have it with us. And then when the coffee break is over, then you can go back to work, but still, you can watch us at the same time because you're at your desk, right? I can't say for all of you guys who are doing construction work, because you have to keep your mind off a lot of things. So if you're maybe not fortunate enough to do that, but maybe you have some kind of little telephone or something you can watch and construct at the same time. But then I wouldn't recommend that anyway, because you have to keep your mind on specifically on that construction, because anything could happen. You want to make sure everything is okay. So we want to say hi to all of you guys who have just popped in. We want to say hi to you guys on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Thank you so much for being along. And here we are in the middle of the month, of the middle of August. And before you know it, ladies and gentlemen, everything is going to come back to the cold weather, which basically I'm not looking forward to it. The only reason why I'm looking forward to it, if I say I'm looking forward to it, is because I always look forward to being alive and enjoying all of that. So yeah, I'll look forward to. I may not enjoy it as much, but it's going to come. So if you live in a place like me, 4 seasons, right? You get all of those winter, spring, summer, fall. You know, you get all of those 4 seasons. Then you have people who stay hot all the time. You know, and speaking of all of that, some places may have extreme heat going on. And so you can't do as many activities as you would like to do, like working out, you know. And if you do that, if you're in the middle of a heat wave, if you're doing that, make sure that, of course, you're working out. Do it early in the morning while the temperatures are cooler, or either late in the evening or not at all. One or the other, but don't do it like in the middle of the day. And make sure you check up on your neighbors who may be elderly, and find out, you know, if they can't make it out there in that hot weather, you know, see if you can do what you can do to help them out. If you're going out to the store doing some kind of work in the supermarket or something like that, find out if you could help them in any way. Anyway, we're here to help each other. Anyway, thank you so much for being along with us on this August 16th. We're almost there, in the middle of the month. And August brings us a great day today. And a lot of you guys, and I couldn't think of a better day than to celebrate this day. It's called National Rum Day. You can't make this stuff up. It is National Rum Day. So if you're in the hot weather, forget about it. Don't even try it. You know, stay hydrated with a lot of water. But if you so desire, when the weather cools off or something like that, you know, you go to your favorite tavern or your saloon or whatnot, you may get yourself your special rum drink, rum on the rocks. I don't know, rum and coke, you know, rum this, rum that. And for you kiddies, you can have little rum cake, you know, which doesn't have the real rum in. I'm talking about like the fake rum cake. For you adults, you can have the regular rum cake. You know. Anyway, whatever it is, it's National Rum Day, and please enjoy. And by the way, if you're going to do that, do it responsibly. If you're going out on the weekend, you're going to do a little drinking, make sure you have a designated driver. That's very important because, hey, you know something? I may be out on the road and you may be behind me. I want to make sure that you're sober. You know, I could be right there. We don't want to hurt anyone. Okay. So I just figure I just bring that out to you. National Rum Day, that's where we are. And where we are also is 81 days out before we reach that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day. That's right. 81 days before November 5th. That's the day we vote. Now, there are a lot of people who already voted in the primaries already. And if you're doing that, if you have the luxury of doing primary voting, some people are not, depending on where you are. Independents, we all know, depending on where you are, you're not allowed to vote in the primaries. But in some cities and states, I think some states, if you're I'm not sure about that, you can check it out. You could go to and check it out and find out whether or not you can vote if you're independent, vote in the primaries. But the most important thing is the vote in the general election, which, by the way, again, that's November 5th. Now, you can vote on that day, and I believe there's going to be early voting. You can do that. A lot of people like to do that to get that out of the way, and some like to vote by mail. You can do that. You see, we have all of these options just in case you can't get to your local poll. You don't have the time to do it. You can do it by mail. And all you have to do is call up your local board of elections, and they could, give you that information on where your polling center is, or they could take your address down and they'll send you the information, the ballots, when that time comes around, where they'll send it to your house and you can fill it out and then send it back. It's all confidential. Nobody will look at it. The good thing about that, you can do it in the comfort of your own home, nobody around. And so you can do that. There's a lot of things. So if you haven't registered to vote, you can do that. Again, you can do that by going to your local board of elections, right? And they will give you information and they will register you, and you'll be able to vote. But do that quick because, as I said, we only have 81 days away. 81 days away from the general election, which is November 5th. And then again, we have those early voting. So do that right away. Now, locally here in New York City, I have, fortunately, the address to the local board of elections here in New York City. And you can visit them or you can call them, either one. They're located at in Manhattan, 200 Varick Street. It's 200 Varick Street. They're up on the 10th floor. And you have any information, you want to go register to vote, or any kind of voting materials that you need, you can go there in person, or you can call them. All right, and which is probably the best bet to call them too. You don't want to get stuck. You have to come from another borough all the way out there, because I don't know if any other board of election offices, they may be others, I don't know, but this is the one that I have. I guess this is the main one. And the number is 212-886-2100. That's 212-866-2100 for your Board of Elections. That's here in New York City. That's where we originate. That's where we are right now. So you can give them a call and let them know. But do it quick. Do everything quick. Get it out of the way and do it quick, because you want to be part of your right to get out there and exercise your right to vote. And keep in mind, when you're voting, think about what you're voting for. Remember, we have a lot of things on the line. We have our freedom and democracy on the line, which I want to keep. And for you women, we have health care issues that we want to control ourselves. And for senior citizens, we want to bring down that cost of medications. They get very expensive. A lot of people may not realize, but medication is very, very expensive. And so we want to make sure all of that is, and we want to take care of our Social Security, make sure that whatever you worked for over the years, that you continue to get that. All right, you get the Social Security over the years, and you continue to get that. Okay, those of you who are watching, and please, if you are watching us and you want to indulge in conversation, and we welcome that, by the way, we really do welcome that. Give us your weather forecast. We would love to hear your weather forecast. The reason why I always ask you for your weather forecast is because of the fact that we want to compare notes. I like to compare notes on the weather forecast and see what my weather is like and what your weather is like. All right. And you don't have to have a full-blown weather report. You could just have something like really simple, just something simple. And that'll give me, you can use an emoji, like a sun emoji or cloud emoji or something like that if I see you there. If you're dealing in conversation with us, we really appreciate that. So, but those of you who live in the New York area, in the vicinity of New York, don't worry about that. I am going to take care of that for you. As a matter of fact, I am going to take care of that right now for you. Our weather forecaster will take us up there. Right now, what we have is 81 degrees. That's what we have right now in New York City. That's the present temperature, 81 degrees. And as the weekend goes along, it's going to go on the decline. So here's what we got so far. It's going to be sunny to start the day, and then a few clouds, and we'll have a high near 82 degrees. That's our high for the day. We're 81 right now. We need one more notch. Who knows? Maybe we'll go higher. 81 degrees, and we'll have, by the way, we'll have a stray shower or two. thunderstorm is possible. That's happening. And 82 degrees for the high. And winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, well, no, I read the wrong weather forecast. Let me do that over. This is Friday. Sunshine to start the day. A few afternoon clouds, high 88. This is for the day. Winds east, southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy for tonight. And early increasing clouds overnight. We'll have a low 71 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for Saturday, now here we are. A mix of clouds and the sun early, then becoming cloudy later in the day. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. We'll have a high 82 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday night, you're going out on the town, mostly cloudy in the evening with scattered thunderstorms. Take the umbrella with you. That's very important. It will develop after midnight. We'll have a low 72 degrees. Winds will be south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain is 60%. And as we wrap up our weekend, it gets even worse. But you want to stay home for Sunday. It's going to be cloudy with occasional rain showers. High 78, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The chance of rain will be 60%. And repeating, our current temperature is 81 degrees. That's what we have in New York City. Give us your weather forecast too. And we would certainly appreciate that if you're going to indulge in conversation. Right now, we're going to go over, I say Charlotte, North Carolina, but no, we've got it here. Brian Kemp is going to be with us, and he's got a mobile. It's mobile. He's moving right now, and he's going to give us the latest development in today's world of sports. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing fine, and you? I'm doing great. How about you doing?
We're doing good. Our weather's going to decline as we go over the weekend, but we're gonna be all right. We survived weather like this before. It doesn't matter, but it's okay. So, how's the cruise?
Cruise was nice. Like I said, it was a business trip, and it was pleasure as well too. I had to take care of a little bit of business with my producer here. She handles all my business and everything. So we had to accomplish what we had to accomplish. She is also my wife, by the way, too, as well. So so everything went well.
I know she's. And just tell her to give a little wave in front of the camera. There she goes. There you go. And she's got her eye on the road. She's concentrating. That's a good driver.
Yeah. She tried to give me a little prep, for the for this spot here, which I know it, like it's ease, but she wanted to put her 2 cents in just to help me out. So she's doing her job and everything. She's doing a wonderful job. Yes. So, but good morning to you all out there. I'm coming live from Daytona Beach, Florida, where it is 82 degrees, going up to 89. I'm in the Sunshine State. Yes, I'm in the Sunshine State, just past Mickey Mouse and his friends and everything. So, just want to give you some sports much to report. We know that the baseball season is here. Wasn't able to watch any games yesterday, but been following the breaking news. If there was any breaking news, no breaking news. Football is really in the swing of things where they doing their preseason games and doing their trying to build up for the regular season. The regular season is going to start in a couple of weeks, believe it or not. And we hope for a good football season. Baseball season, as you know, is is winding down. We still got a whole month of September, so we got another week and some days left in this month, and we got a whole month of September. And then we're ready for the postseason with the playoffs. Yankees is in a position where they will make the playoffs. I don't know about their division. They're in a dogfight with the Orioles and a couple of other teams lingering behind as well. So in the National League, I don't know what the Mets are doing. The Mets are up and down. You got to check your local listings of where your teams are. I know where my team is at. It's in San Francisco. They're very up and down. But other than that, they're still in contention as well. So just let's get ready for this drive, this here baseball season drive. The NBA, as you know, will be starting their spring training soon, probably in the month of late September, early October. They're going to start coming to camp. They just finished with the Olympics. The WNBA is just started their second half of the season because they were in France for the Olympics. The U.S. men's basketball and WNBA women's basketball won their gold medals. They beat France, respectively. Yes, both men and women played against France in the for the gold medal, and they beat them. The women's was a nail biter. That was fun to watch. The men's, they were tested first for a while, but then they came along afterwards and they pulled it out and they won the gold. Simone Biles, as you know, still making history. She won a couple of gold medals and everything with her team and individually as well too. Nothing so spectacular for the tennis. We didn't do well with the Americans. A couple of other categories with the gold medals.
Okay.
Tied with China for the most of gold, silver, and bronze. So congratulations to us that we did come back and win the most medals. But on this day in sports, August 16th, 1920, the Cleveland Indians shortstop Ray Chapman hit in the head by New York Yankee Carl Mays. He died the next day. That is the only recorded time in Major League Baseball history where somebody got hit in the head by a fastball, baseball, and died. But he died the next day. I remember there was a baseball player back in the late 60s, Tony Conigliaro, for the Boston Red Sox, who got hit in the eye. And he was never the same player since then. I mean, that was a brutal hit. I didn't see it live, but I did see it as I got older. It was just a brutal hit. So, but yeah, only one time in history this happened in 1954. Authentic Brands Group is the first Publix to bring out a sports magazine, which is called Sports Illustrated, which is still going on today. 1954, that was. In 1965, the AFL ninth franchise is awarded to Joe Robbie and TV star Danny Thomas. And that team is called the Miami Dolphins. Yes, Danny Thomas, who's an actor, he's the father of Marlo Thomas from, I believe, That Girl was a TV series. And him and Joe Robbie bought the Miami Dolphins. Later on, Joe Robbie, I think, bought him out. And that's how the Miami Dolphins got here into the NFL. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to the late Frank Gifford, who was born in 1930, who was a half NFL Hall of Famer and the original member of the ABC Monday Night Football team with Don Meredith and Howard Cosell. He was born in Santa Monica, California. And happy birthday to Christian Okoye, born in 1961, known as the Nigerian Nightmare. He was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, was born in Enugu, Nigeria. And say happy birthday to him. So that's where we stand, and that is sports coming from Daytona, Florida.
Did you say that today is would have been Frank Gifford's birthday?
Yes.
Do you realize, he was married, if you remember, to Kathy Lee Gifford.
Yes.
Today is her birthday. I didn't.
Her birthday too?
Today is her birthday.
Wow.
He's 70. She's 71. I don't know how old he would have been, but today is her birthday too.
Well, Frank Gifford was born in 1930, so I would say he would have been 94.
Yeah, he was up there. Yeah, that's something. Isn't it something how a woman and wife have birthdays on the same day, if not the same day, then at least uh close to each other?
Yeah.
And here's something else. Since we're on the subject about that, Kamala Harris is going to be celebrating a birthday in October, October 20th. Her husband's birthday is 7 days before hers.
October 13th.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're the same age.
Wow. Isn't that something? 7 days apart in
Yeah,
the same year. That's great.
yeah,
Kathy Lee Griffith was once the host of a talk show on ABC in the morning.
yeah.
I forget the name of it, but it was she was the host of, what was that show?
I think,
Regis and Kathy Lee.
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
See, that's why I have a great producer. She tells me these things in my ear and everything. So she knows about things like this. Yes.
yeah.
Regis and Kathy Lee. Yes, absolutely.
Uh, I, I, I used to be a member of her, her, her brother's church, who I know very well, David Epstein. And he retired, and him and his wife moved out to Florida, and he retired. I really miss him. But yeah, I used to be a member of his church. And
What church?
that's the Calvary Baptist Church. The Calvary Baptist Church was on 57th Street, and it was
Okay.
diagonally across from Carnegie Hall. But they I don't know if they closed it down because they moved uptown, and
Yes, I remember that church. Yeah.
they didn't make any mention of whether or not they're going to move that congregation back to the original foundation, because they look like they're wherever they are now. They're uptown near 80-something street, and they look like they're already established there. So I don't know if they're ever going to move back there. But anyway, I used to be a member of his church, and I really enjoyed it when he was there. But him and his wife, they retired, moved out to Florida.
Yeah.
But
There was also a restaurant called the Russian Tea Party that was open across the street.
Russian Tea Room.
Tea Room, right? Yes.
It's still there,
Still
and
there.
Carnegie Deli wasn't too far from there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carnegie Deli. Yes, that's right. Yes.
They closed all of those places down. This morning I was at the gym, and I was talking to one of my gym mates who were like, him and I are basically like the same age. And we were talking about old times. And I said, you know something? When we were growing up, we didn't pay a lot of money to get in the movies. It was like 50 cents to get into the movies. And I said, if you tell these kids today how much we paid to get in the movies, they would never believe it. We were talking about those old times and all those old restaurants, the automats and all of those things,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But they were good times, and now we're paying through the nose. And I remember back in the 1950s, growing up, mom used to pay, she had $26 a month for rent.
Oh, wow.
$26 a month for rent.
That's unbelievable.
A big slew of groceries, she paid $3. And even that was a lot of money back then.
Sure was, yeah. And that food used to last us for a month.
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time. And it just shows you how times change. And when we look at what we pay today, we look at the prices today, and as the prices go up, we start to say, some people say, oh, man, I really wish we were back in the 1950s. I don't wish that at all. No, I enjoyed it, but I don't wish that at all. I don't wish that at all.
Anyway. But those are the days you appreciate the most, because we didn't have much, but we made it through difficult times. And there were a lot of more times than it was difficult times.
Yeah. There were, and you never missed a meal,
Never miss a meal.
Because
right.
She was so creative with meals,
Yeah.
Whether you liked it or not, she would always say, her favorite thing was always say, somebody else, if you don't want it, somebody else will eat it. Or something like that, something to that
Oh,
nature.
yeah.
Or
And then,
some people
and,
don't have that.
yeah, and then she'll bring up the Africa thing, where, there's people in Africa that's starving and, they would love to trade places with you and everything, And now when you think about it, it's facts because I think about that too. I used to tell that to my kids and I tell that to my grandkids as well too,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a firm believer not to waste food, Don't let your eyes be bigger than your stomach.
And there are times when I'm full and I don't have and I don't want enough. What I usually do is I just put it back in the refrigerator, and then when I'm in a mood to finish it up, then I'll just pop it in the microwave.
That's right.
Simple as that. We didn't have much.
And I love leftovers too. I will eat leftovers. If I can't eat it for that night, I'll bring it to on lunch for the next day.
Oh, yeah.
No shame with me.
You know what I love? Cold chicken.
Cold chicken. Oh God. We didn't have microwaves back then.
We didn't have microwave back then, but we didn't need it because I love cold chicken. If you let's say for instance you fry, we were big on fried chicken back in those days, and you fry chicken and you don't finish it, you put it in the refrigerator and you pull out, either you put it in the oven or eat it cold. I loved it cold. It just has I loved it cold. So
yeah, my producer loves cold chicken too.
Yeah.
I'd rather warm it up and put it in the oven like I used to do back in the day and everything.
I'll eat it cold just like that. And sometimes what I might do, I might slice it and put it between bread. You gotta be creative. Okay, well, I guess we'll catch you back here next week then.
Be here next week. I'm going away. In fact, I'm coming into New York for a day and a half to celebrate a friend's birthday. It's one day in, one day out. I don't know if I can stop by and see you. I might wave across the bridge to you and everything, but I'll definitely call you though.
Well, I'll understand. I understand because sometimes you make those periodic trips. You just come in and go out. That must be grueling, but sometimes you have to do those things, whatever. Okay, we'll catch you back here next week then.
All right, everybody listen, on a serious note, be safe. COVID is still here. We've been reading the reports on these cruise sites. COVID is still here. I know you don't want to hear me preach, but COVID is real. It's still real. Cover your face, sanitize yourself, be safe, but most of all, be smart.
That's right.
Everybody enjoy your weekend.
Okay, take care of yourself. Thanks a lot, Brian. Take care, Kat.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, that's ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here each week at this time, and he brings us the latest. And of course, it's still not too late for you to ask questions. I can still relay them to him. He's en route now. He won't be able to answer them today, but being en route, he won't be able to take all of those questions and answer them because he's on the road right now. But next week, when he comes back, he'll be at his regular habitat, and he'll be doing the sports. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. We had a frozen spot a couple of times, but it wasn't bad. Sometimes you get those when you're actually en route and you're on the air live like that. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you drop out or you freeze a little bit, but that's because you're in and out of I don't know, Wi-Fi or a hotspot or something like that. You're in and out, come in, coming out. I guess it's better than not having any signal at all. But we really appreciate Brian for his efforts. And yeah, he's right about that. This COVID thing is still going around and people are still trying to get a hang of it. People are still wearing their mask. I know a guy, I go to the gym. I meet all kinds of people in the gym. I love these guys, these people at the gym. And there's this one guy I know, he comes to the gym and he's constantly, while he's working out, wearing his mask. And that's good. We're not required to do it. At this particular point, I don't, but I'm very careful of where I go or where my settings are, because we don't want to fall back to where we were before. We The pandemic is gone, but the virus is still here. And I think it's going to remain here just as the flu is always here, which reminds me to tell you that the flu shot should be available pretty soon, either at the tail end of this month or the beginning of next month. And I think COVID, they may have an update version for that. It looks like they would. I don't see why they wouldn't, but we'll inform you when all of that happens. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're here every Friday. We thank you so much for being along with us. We want you to tell your family and friends about this show and get them involved and have them know that we're here and we're a family of nice people. And of course, we like to talk to you. And those of you who want to get involved in conversation with us, we would love you to get involved in conversation with us. Some people don't. They just rather sit back, relax, and watch the show. As long as you're out there, that's the most important thing, and we really would appreciate that. But we would love to greet you and talk to you as well. And if you're going to get involved in conversation with us, we want to say hi to you. You know, give us your weather forecast and let us know what it's like in your area. As I said, here in New York City, the weather is nice for right now. We're doing pretty good, but as the weekend slowly but surely kicks in, the weather will decline a little bit. So by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to get some rain, you know, throughout the day. But we make the best out of it. But I always say this, and I always say this all the time: never change your plans, because sometimes Mother Nature throws a curveball at you. You know, so never change your plan. It's going to be okay. All right, thank you so much again. And it is the coffee hour. Speaking of that, excuse me while I shoot up. Oh, it's getting a little cold, but you know, that's all right. I still like it. I had it there for quite a while. Okay. The family of Isaac Hayes is threatening to sue former President Donald Trump over his use of the track "Hold On, I'm Coming" at rallies. Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III, shared a copy of the copyright infringement notice filed by his lawyer, James Walker, and issued Trump demanding him his campaign to pay $3 million in licensing fee. "Hold On, I'm Coming" was performed by the soul duo Sam and Dave and written by Hayes himself along with David Porter. Actor Angel Salazar, best known for the role as Tony Montana, his friend in the crime drama Scarface, has died. Salazar, he acted alongside some of the Hollywood's greats during his decades-long career, including with Tom Hanks in the 1988 comedy drama Punchline as Rico, and twice with director Brian De Palma and Al Pacino in the 1983's Scarface. He played the character of Chichi, and a decade later, in 1993, he played in Carlito's Way as Roberto, and he was 68 years old. Wally Amos, the founder of the famous Amos Cookies, has died. Sean and Sarah Amos, two of his children, said that he died in his Honolulu home Tuesday due to complications of dementia. He's also survived by his other two children, Gregory and Michael, and his wife of 45 years, Christine Harris Amos. He was 88 years old. Oscar-nominated actress Gina Rowlands, whose screen career spanned nearly 7 decades and more than 100 films and TV credits, has died. Rowlands was known for both her work in early independent cinema alongside her first husband, director John Cassavetes, as well as crowd-pleasing titles later in her career, including Hope Floats in 1998 opposite Sandra Bullock, and the hit film The Notebook in 2004. She was 94 years old. Katie Couric is speaking out at CBS as they announced that Norah O'Donnell would be replaced by male co-anchors on the CBS Evening News following the 2024 presidential election. Couric, who anchored the CBS Evening News from 2006 to 2011, called out the network's decision to have Maurice Benoit and John Dickerson co-anchor the nightly broadcast. She also stated that as much as she respects these two journalists, CBS is out of touch. Actress Alyssa Milano hopes to charm audiences when she make her debut, her Broadway debut this fall in the musical Chicago. And that's adding her celebrity to the show that scours celebrity culture. Milano, former star of Who's the Boss and Charm, steps into the role of Roxy Hart at the Ambassador Theater beginning September 16th for the 8th week, and performing for 8 weeks, have that engagement up until November 10th. Voice over or voice actress Rachel Lillis, the talent behind the Pokemon character Missy, Jessie, and Jigglypuff, has died on Monday. Lillis' Pokemon co-star Veronica Taylor, who voiced Ash Ketchum, made the announcement on social media. Lillis was 46 years old. Birthdays today: actor Timothy Hutton is 64 years old. Madonna is 66. Actress Angela Bassett is 66. Film director James Cameron is 70. And as I stated earlier, TV personality and announcer. She did that show with Kathy Lee Gifford. She's 71 years old today. Actress Leslie Ann Warren is 78. Singer, actress Ketty Lester is 90. Actress Julie Newmar, who was one of the cat ladies on Batman, is 91 today. The following people no longer with us, but would have been celebrating birthdays. Actor Robert Culp of I Spy would have been 94. Jazz pianist Bill Evans would have been 95. Singer Edie Gourmet would have been 96. Also would have been 96, would have been actress Ann Blythe. Actor Fess Parker, who played Davy Crockett, would have been 100 years old. Singer Al Hibbler would have been 109. And Prime Minister of Israel, Menachem Begin, would have been 111 years old. Happy birthday to all of the people who are with us and the people who are not with us. We still celebrate you, and happy birthday to you and the rest of you. And if you're celebrating a birthday and would like us to acknowledge that, maybe you're celebrating one right now, acknowledge it for us. If you're right there with us, tell us it's your birthday. We would love to do that for you. And you can do that by contacting us. I have two sources. I have an email address and a telephone number. Let me give you the email address first. Email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. That's important because we want you to get the right spelling. And prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for productions. frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. You can call us for any reason. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year as you email us or call us, and you can leave a message on your telephone on our messaging service, and we will acknowledge that. And you can call and email in for any reason at all. Maybe you want to talk about the show. Maybe you want to know more about the show. Maybe you want to critique the show. Maybe you have ideas for the show. We're all ears. We listen to you to see what you have to say. We can't guarantee you anything, but we can guarantee you that we will listen and we'll see what we can do about that. And any other thing that you have, maybe you want to talk about our sports. You have questions about sports, or anything at all. Just do that, and keep the information with you at your handy. Keep it handy with you in your electrical systems, like your computer or your cell phone. You know, take it everywhere you go, because that's where everything is. It's right in the cell phones and the computers, right? So you can get easy access to it at all times, right? You never know when you want to use it. So let me give you that email address once again. Email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. We will be looking forward to hearing from you. We always do. I want to go back to a reprise. And I read earlier, and I mentioned last night on the show, Isaac Hayes, his son Isaac Hayes III, all right, they had threatened to sue former President, I had to say it because that's what he was, former President Donald Trump. Now, we all know that when he goes out there, he just likes to play his music, right? But never once do he get any permission to play music. I mean, he had people contact him, people like the Rolling Stones and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and many, many other people who said, no, we don't want to be part of your campaign. We don't want you to play our music. You didn't ask for permission or anything. And when he did that with Isaac Hayes, his son went further than that and just said, we're not taking it. We're not taking it. He contacted the Trump camp. They never got back to him. He tried it again. They never got back to him. And he says, now I'm going to consult with my lawyer. Now he has to pay. They're suing him for $3 million in licensing fee. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I worked in radio a long time, TV a long time. I was a radio disc jockey, so I know how this thing works. You cannot just play records just like that. There are certain things a lot of people do on social media. They play music that they're not supposed to play when they're supposed to actually get licensed for it. You can get licensed for it. You know, when you watch a baseball game or a football game and they have a disclaimer saying, you know, no further broadcast, transmission, or other uses without the express or the permission of whatever franchise they're broadcasting. That doesn't mean you can't do it, but you have to get permission to do it. You have to call people and say, hey, I would like to use this particular cut I heard there. Can I get the license to do it? Can I get license to do it? Can I get permission to do it? Right? The same with music. Now, as a disc jockey, as a radio disc jockey, don't have a license per se, but every radio station that I worked, every radio station must, particularly if they're playing music, they must have a license. They must have a license. Now, you can get away with playing maybe about 30 seconds of a song or something like that. And you've heard TV stations do that. They're licensed to do it. All right. Radio stations are licensed to play music. And if they weren't licensed and you played it, then you're up for a lawsuit. So this is what happens when Donald Trump thinks that he can go out and play anybody's music anytime he wants and get away with it. He did that with Lee Greenwood, who wrote that, who composed that song, God Bless the USA. He did that with him. And I think he slid through water like that because Lee Greenwood heard it and he said, oh, this is interesting, and never said anything about it. So now he plays it anytime he wants. You know, I don't know whether or not he still got the permission from Greenwood, but they became friends, so I guess he's allowed to do that, you know. By the way, that song, God Bless the USA, I hate that song. I hate it. Not that I'm unpatriotic, because I am very patriotic, but I hate that particular song. And I explained that last night on the show, you know, I don't have time to explain it more. Maybe at another time I will. If you could remind me next week, maybe I'll explain it next week. But anyway, he plays those musics that he doesn't get licensed for. And now Isaac Hayes Jr. is going all out. He has to pay $3 million in damages. $3 million for a licensing fee. You have to pay for that music. Kamala Harris plays Beyonce's Freedom song. The only difference is that Kamala Harris got the permission from Beyonce personally. All right. Otherwise, she has to get licensed for it. So personally, so Beyonce says, yes, you could use my song, you could use my music, you could play it as your campaign theme. And she does that. So she doesn't have to worry about anything. You know, so you just can't go and play anybody's music anytime you want, thinking you can get away with it. So I congratulate, kudos to Isaac Hayes III. Kudos to him. You got to protect the music. You're definitely not gonna do that with Frank Sinatra music or Bing Crosby music or Sammy Davis music. You're not doing that. You're not gonna get away with it. There's no way that's happening. So why would you infringe on other people's rights like that? I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. See how much more he want to get away with that. Okay, remember that election day is 81 days away, so please be aware of that and get out and vote. You're right, because that's coming up. That's 81 days away from November 6th, and you could do some early voting too when that comes along. And of course, they'll announce that. I'm going to talk about those movies, and we have those movies that I talk about each week. And of course, we always bring you movies. I go on Turner Classic Movies, and what I do with that is that I take my picks of the week for your weekend, because the weekend's coming up, and part of the weekend you may want to indulge in binging, watching movies, get out the popcorn, pop it in and put it in the microwave and pop them up and sit back and relax and watch movies. So I want to add a couple of movies to your binging segment, or to your binging of watching these movies, right? I'm going to add a couple of movies, right? So let's go back in time. 1953. Here's a good movie. It's called Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. It's a color movie, and it stars Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. Is it color? I think it's color. No, it may be black and white. I haven't looked back. I think it's black and white. Anyways, back in 1953, black and white. Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. That comes on Friday. That's tonight, our time, 8 p.m. Eastern, tonight on Turner Classic Movies. So if you get a chance, you can watch that. If you don't get a chance to watch it, DVR. You can DVR all of these movies and watch them later. And then we have the Philadelphia Story from 1940, Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, along with James Stewart. It's on Turner Classic Movies as well. And you can catch that Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You may be in church or maybe doing another activity that you normally do on Sunday. DVR it, watch it later. You can do that as well. They're great movies, and you can go on Turner Classic Movies and watch some of the free stuff that comes on demand. You can go down from A to Z. They have a lot of them that you can check out, and movies that you forgot about, movies that jogs your memory, movies you haven't seen in a long time, and they're right there for a great lineup of movies. And then while you're on demand, you can check out pay-per-view movies that are in the theater now, movies that were just in the theater not too long ago. They're all right there. And it's just pay-per-view, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for it as opposed to actually going to the theater itself. It's right there, and you can watch it in the comforts of your own home. Also, on demand, you have documentaries, great documentaries, children programs, sporting events. If you missed your favorite sporting event, you can catch it the following day, or maybe hours away after that, right there on demand, sometimes without commercial interruption. So you have all of those to look forward to. And then the movies that I just gave. And then, something, being resourceful, everybody's streaming now. So in conjunction with the cable, some people have cable and they can stream at the same time. That's a good thing. If you want to hold on to your cable bill, sure. But you're streaming. And by the way, when you stream, there are a lot of great free streaming. Of course, you have to pay for the Netflix and the things like the Paramount Plus and all of those other things, those major things. You pay for them, and they don't cost a lot of money either. All right. So you're streaming, and you got this and you got that. So adding more of these movies to it just doesn't hurt. So let me tell you about the movies again. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. That's tonight, Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's our time. Check it out then. And the Philadelphia Story, Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and James Stewart. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, right there on Turner Classic Movies. I hope you get a chance to enjoy all of these movies. I think you will like them. Give them an opportunity, and you'll have them all for the weekend. And all you have to do is just sit back, relax. Put some popcorn right there in the microwave and hear the pop, 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 and then go right to the movies, okay? I hope you enjoy it. As I hope you enjoy doing this, or being here with us, because I enjoy being here with you. My weekend is officially underway, so therefore I am going to close it out, shut it down. and promise you that I will be back here next week. I can promise you, but you know, through the grace of God, I will be here next week on our other show called Talk Back Live. That's next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Brian Kemp will be with me with sports, latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I hope you will be too. And then come back and meet me here next Friday at 10 a.m. for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Kemp with sports and all of us together. And I look forward to seeing you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day and a great weekend. And we'll see you soon. God bless you.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.